Am I the asshole for refusing to move out even though my roommate is 7 months pregnant? Hi guys, last week my roommate Becca found out she is not only pregnant but 7 months along. She texted me that we had to talk today and I had assumed she would be moving out soon for more space when the baby comes. Instead she told me I have to move out to make space for the nursery and her baby daddy to move in. I'm on a terrible salary and cannot afford anywhere else to live, plus like she wants me to move out right now so she can prepare for the baby. Even if I wanted to move out now, the apartment rentals in my area are either too expensive or well below living standards, so I don't want to move. She went absolutely crazy the moment I told her I wouldn't move out, because I'm ruining her motherhood experience by not letting her family live together. I pay rent here and my name's on the lease until at least the end of the year. I'm not gonna pull out of the lease, and I told her that if she wants her little family together that she should move and I'll find someone to half the cheap rent with. That made her start crying and saying how I just want to ruin her life, to the point her baby daddy had to console her and tell me to get out of their way already. I've not heard her stop crying since, but I think I'm totally valid that I don't want to leave. Am I the asshole for not wanting to move out? Not the asshole. This is a her problem, not a you problem. She wants the cheap rent for her and her BD. Your name is on the lease, you pay rent, she can't kick you out. However, be prepared for a very uncomfortable living situation from now on. Where does the BD live now? If she wants to move him in, he has a place already. Can she not move in with him? Not the asshole, your name is on the lease and you both live there. The audacity to tell you to move out is outrageous, loudly crying. Not the asshole. Her pregnancy, her relationship, her problem. The baby is not your responsibility. Her life is not your responsibility. You didn't get her pregnant and you don't owe her anything. Why can't she move in with her baby daddy? Holy shit. You can't still be living with pasta water. Becca loudly crying, that image haunts me. I pay rent here and my name's on the lease until at least the end of the year. That's the whole ballgame. You didn't decide to get pregnant, she did. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, your roommate is living in a fantasy. In her mind, you'd move out and she'll live happily ever after with her new little family. And your refusal to move out burst her bubble. If she's upset, oh well, the world doesn't revolve around her or her pregnancy. She'll just have to make do until the lease is up or find someplace else to live. Am I the asshole for telling my brother girlfriend to F off? We've been battling 120 heat where I live over the last week. My brother and his girlfriend came over to use my pool yesterday. I have 3 children and they are playing in the pool and I see my brother's girlfriend yelling at my kids. I asked her what her problem was and she goes off saying she just paid $1,000 for her hair and she doesn't want my children to jump and splash getting it wet. I told her I paid $100,000 for this pool for my kids to be able to jump and splash it, so she can fuck off about her $1,000 hair. She got butthurt and made my bother leave. My wife thinks I could have been nicer, but I cannot imagine some telling my children how to play in their home and in their pool. My brother thinks I was wrong for rubbing my money in her face, but I feel like she started it talking about her $1,000 hair. My brother thinks I was being insensitive, but I said maybe his girlfriend will think twice before talking to other people's kids like that in their own fucking home. Not the asshole. Why is she sitting by the pool then? Also, what kind of hair costs $1,000? Is it a wig? I'd understand if she had a medical condition and was sensitive maybe. If not and it's just extensions or whatever, then she can move. If you're spending $1,000 on your hair, spend $5.99 on a bathing cap. Story doesn't even make sense. She came to use the pool? But complained about getting wet? Everyone saying you waved your money in her face seems to be missing the context that you were replying to someone using money as a reason to not splash her. By replying about the price of the pool, was only calling out the absolute absurdity of that argument. It's satire. I.e., that argument has no legs because I could say this, isn't that silly? Not the asshole, the point really seems to have missed some people. Not the asshole. Beggars can't be choosers. Or, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Both come to mind. Your brother's girlfriend yelled at your kids for being kids. I'd kick her out, just for that. If she's going to whine about her hair, she can do it well away from your property. Not the asshole. If she didn't want wet hair, get the hell away from the pool. And if she's stupid enough to pay $1,000 for hair, then as Forrest says, stupid is as stupid does. Her extensions can't be that awesome. And if it's a wig, take the damn thing off. I wouldn't let her back in my house. Am I the asshole for calling my mother's bluff and moving? Edit. Title. Moving out. I, 20 male, was living with my mother, stepfather, twin brothers and 3 sisters aged 6-13. My stepfather is a truck driver and never home. My mother also works, so she often arrives home later than I did from university, so it was my job to make sure that the kids had dinner and she asked me to help her a lot with chores. It was fine before university, but this last year, my first in uni, I felt that it was too much as this is not high school. During the summer break, I got a part-time job in the same place where I did my internship in the spring, but with school starting again there will be very few hours and they pay me an hourly wage and extra for finishing tasks. As it is work-from-home job, I could do it any time I have free time, but with 5 smaller siblings in school, there is not much free time at all. At the end of August my mother suddenly told me that as I work now, I should pay rent. €300 per month. And I replied, it is more than half of what I will make when school starts. She just replied, well, adults either pay rent or move out. I had an idea. I posted in a Facebook group for the district where the university is, that I look for rooms to rent for cheap and can even offer help with kids. All I want is a private room. I can buy my own food. I could not afford even a stereo in the area. I got a reply from a single mother, Rachel, who told me she had a deal for me and wanted to meet first to get to know me. She told me that she had a 2-bedroom apartment, but could move herself into the living room and give me the bedroom. She was offered a way better job, but it is not 9-5 and she has 7-year-old, Emma, who just started school. I took it. I have to take care of her when she works. I pay no rent and don't even have to buy food, as a babysitter would be way more expensive for her. Meanwhile, babysitting a well-raised 7-year-old is very easy. I have been living there from the start of school in September and I love it. On the days Rachel works I walk with Emma to her school on my way to university and back after, cook us something to eat and usually, her mother arrives when it is bedtime. When she has the night shift, it is even easier bath teeth bed, and morning is no different than other days. On Saturday I took her to a huge park, playground near the university and we allowed her to help with cooking the lunch. On Sunday I had a day off, and visited my real home, and my mother was so pissed. 13-year-old twins are terrible at home chores and told me that I let her down. She told me that I act like a self-centered asshole and now pretend to be a kid in a different family. I love my mother and siblings. I will visit home at weekends when I have time, but I will not go back to living there. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. What your mother and stepdad did to you was point-blank parentification. As the cherry on top, she wanted to add cash cow to your personal title in the family. You made a good deal. You reduced the amount of siblings you have to take care of and dodged your mom's attempt to steal your wage for herself. If she wants to be angry, she should be angry at herself for having 6 kids if she cannot afford it from a money or time standpoint. Not the asshole. What a great opportunity to save money. Good for you. Mom must hate chewing her own words though. Also, babysitting isn't free. She should have been happy with the arrangement she had. Oh well. Not the asshole. Rachel understands what your mom clearly doesn't. Childcare and housekeeping have real value. If your mom had known this and not taken you for granted, she might still have her childcare and chore person. Sucks to be her. Not the asshole. She told you to pay rent or move out, so you moved out. Tell your mother that adults pay for childcare and housecleaning. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your mother had a good deal and pushed it one step too far. Live your own life and make your own path. Am I the asshole for holding to my rules about paying for my children's education? I am a single mother to 3 daughters. Twins 21 female and Alice 19 female. I told my daughters since they were in elementary school that if they pursued higher education, I would pay for it. They would not have to take out loans or worry whatsoever. This applied to any sort of program, university, community college, trade, etc. My only rules were that they were to share their grades with me at the end of each semester of course and that they must go straight into whatever program they chose. No gap years or going back to school when they were older. I always encouraged college but in no way forced it. One of my twins took me up on this and she is currently a senior with a major in psychology, and my other twin did not and is currently in the tattoo artist industry. They are both kicking ass and I'm equally proud of them both. However, Alice informed me while she was a senior in high school that she wanted to take a gap year. When I asked what she planned to do during this gap year, she said something like, relax before having to be in the real world. She said she wanted to go to college, just not right away. She also said she did not plan to work during this time. I told her she had the whole summer to relax, but she held strong and wanted her gap year. I said fine, but not to expect me to fund her schooling a year from now. She brushed me off. If she had planned to do something productive or literally anything with the gap year, internship etc., I would have had a different attitude towards this. Flash forward to September and Alice has done exactly that for the last 4 months, relax. She sleeps until 2 and has not gotten a job. She has a car and the means to do so, but simply does not wish to. The topic of her going to school next year got brought up by her and she asked if I would pay. I said no, and that she knew this. I told her I would be happy to help her, but would not be paying in full. She blew up on me, asking if I was serious and saying how unfair I was. She yelled at me and called me a bitch for paying for her sister's college in full but not hers. I reminded her of our conversation and how she knew my stance since she was a little girl. I also asked her if she had applied for scholarships or done anything to start trying to help with these funds. She had not. I told her since I was retiring in 2025, I did not have the funding to pay for her schooling in full anymore and that I had to start thinking about saving for myself and my future. I said she had missed her chance. She is very angry and has barely been speaking to me. I feel bad, but I also don't. I feel like this will be the first of many things in her life to teach her some responsibility. She had her opportunity to have her schooling paid for and she knew this, but chose to do nothing for a year. She can absolutely still go to college and I will help foot the bill, but she would definitely have to take out some loans. I'm really not sure how to talk to her about this. Am I the asshole? Edited to add a few things. As far as my retirement, if Alice had attended college this fall, I would not be retiring in 2025. I probably would have pushed it until at least 2027. I chose to retire sooner because I knew that I would not be paying for the entirety of another child's schooling. For those saying Alice may have needed the gap year for mental health reasons, this has never been communicated to me by her. She has never exhibited signs of mental health issues. She has friends, did well in school, goes out, etc. If she needed this gap for mental health reasons and told me as such, I would have an extremely different attitude. But like I stated, she just wanted it to relax. As far as why I'm against gap years, I am not necessarily against them. I just always expressed to my children the importance of hard work, responsibility, and using your time wisely. I wanted to avoid this exact scenario, having one of my children living with me not working, not going to school, or contributing to society, or household at all. I'll clarify again that if Alice had been working, doing an internship, studying abroad, Peace Corps, any volunteer work, I would reconsider this rule. But sitting around in her bed all day for 9 months and expecting me to be okay with that, and still pay full tuition, will just not fly in my home. Somebody has asked if I paid for my twin who is in the tattoo artist business. I did. She has loved art and tattoos since she was a young teenager, drawing them, planning her own tattoos. So I had a pretty good idea that she wanted to make a career out of this. I encouraged her to do so and she found herself an apprenticeship right out of high school. I paid for everything she needed with it. It is truly her passion. To answer is Alice knows what she wants to do, she does. She has known what she wanted to major in since she was 15. She still wants to major in this. So it is not a matter of needing time to figure it out. I told her since I was retiring in 2025, I did not have the funding to pay for her schooling in full anymore and that I had to start thinking about saving for myself and my future. I said she had missed her chance. You had the funding to fully pay for her college a year ago but you don't now? That's odd. How would you have been saving for yourself now if she'd gone straight to college? I also don't see any indication that you talked to her about applying for scholarships or even about attending community college. Literally the only options you gave her were, go straight into college immediately and I'll pay, or, you're on your own. But those aren't the only options and it was negligent of you to act as if they are. Some people need a gap year for a variety of reasons. Being inflexible is not a good example for your kids. It's also kinda sus that in 4 months' time you no longer have the funds for her to go to school. It's very likely she's overwhelmed and needs guidance. Does she even know how to search for scholarships? More importantly, does she even know what she wants to study? Right out of HS I went to community college. But I didn't understand how GPAs worked and ended up with a GPA around a little less than 2.0, which was very disappointing for me. I was 23 before I realized that I wanted to be a nurse. I think y'all can come to a compromise. For example, maybe she can start a school in January, so it won't be a gap year, it's just 4 months. I strongly believe you should reconsider. Info. What happened to the money set aside for her education? Your rule is ridiculous, and a complete asshole move. I almost certainly only graduated at all because I took a gap year. Not being proud because they want 1 year of their life not dominated by grades and performance and pressure is a complete asshole move. On the other hand, your kid should probably have learned you're an asshole by now and taken you at your word. Yes, it's kinda unbelievable that you really would be this much of an asshole, but she should have believed you meant it, and calling you a bitch even though she's correct isn't gonna help anything. Not the asshole. You made it clear from the very beginning that you wouldn't cover the full cost if any of your children did this and that. But I do understand wanting to take a gap year. School can be extremely exhausting. Both on the body and mentally, it's a lot of stress. But what I don't get is why Alice isn't even applying for anything. Also, maybe take your offer of helping her back after she called you a bitch. I definitely wouldn't let that slide, lol. I begged my parents for a gap year, which they denied. I ended up dropping out of college after 18 months so I wouldn't end up opening my veins from the stress and wasn't able to go back until I got a job that paid for 127 years later. It royally screwed me over for life.